The way I get to know my characters is spending time with them. And usually the trickiest part is the beginning of a book. And often I'll write the first 2 or 3 chapters many times over. I'll explore them and I'll think something is stopping me, that it's not quite right. It usually means that it's not true to character. Then I'll reread it and I'll find a different way to go, and I'll find new aspects of the character. And then another thing, if I really get stuck, what I'll do is I'll do a character sketch. And I'll just, without any barriers, I know it will never see the light of day, I'll start writing. Where was she born? How was she born? What was her birth order? What was her father like, her mother like? Even though I'll never see these things in the story, it'll help me understand. And I'll come up with weird, silly little things about the character. For example, I'll say she had a reoccurring nightmare. And then all of a sudden I'll find out a little bit more about the character. Why did she have that one specific? And maybe something will trigger it. And that's how I normally find the character. But it's very tricky. And to me, all of my stories are very much character driven. To me, it is the most important part. The characteristics of my characters obviously differ from one to another. I mean, that's what makes it so interesting. You don't want to always have the same type of heroine or the same type of hero. Obviously, the archetype hero, the alpha hero, is very popular, and I'm very drawn to them. But you need to have different characters. And the tricky part is having likable characters. And I learned early on that it is very important to have a likable hero. Yes, you can have some negative qualities, but I remember before I was published, my very first book that was published, A Secret Passion, before it was, I had a critique person who, in a contest, write on about the 20th page, who would ever want to kiss your hero? And I realized that even though I had tried to create somebody who was like a Mr. Darcy, who in the beginning you didn't like Mr. Darcy, he said such a horrible thing behind Elizabeth's back. And I thought, you know what, even if he's going to be redeemed in the end, if he's so negative and the reader is turned off by him, they're not going to hang in there through the rest of the book. So I am very careful that while the person can be dark and have problems and need to be redeemed, there's got to be a spark of likability in a person, otherwise no one's going to care about what happens to them.